Oh, hello, my lovely Isabel. I just got here. I just got here from my tower to meet with the man himself, Cookie, who's arrived in Oz. He's arrived in Oz to stir up trouble. I know he has. So, me being Princess Mombi, I have agreed with the stone gnome to make sure he does not cause any trouble in Oz. So, let's speak to him. Actually, I'm looking here. Is that actually Cookie? I'm not sure, is it Cookie or is it?
Dorothy Gale.
Oh no, it's Cookie. It's not that horrible Dorothy Gale is always interfering with things. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I didn't notice the doggies. Oh,
Oh, the pest that in is.
oh God, how gorgeous is that? See, I can't have a dog now because I've got Koshka, my cat, my stray cat, so he won't put up with another cat, never mind a dog, but aren't they gorgeous? Tell us the
Well,
names.
you can't have cats and dogs. If you get the dog as a puppy, you bring
Oh
it
yeah,
up with a
but
cat.
Koshka, because he was a stray for so long, and he still has his stray streak in him. I mean, once the weather gets warm, I never see him. He just comes in for his dinner and then goes out in his house all day, all night. But in the cold weather, he'll stay in all the time. But dogs or the cats, whew, he won't have it. Even humans, he has to get used to someone. He'll hiss and spit at them until he gets used to them. But what's the little one on your lap called? Oh, look at that.
It's just called Bella.
Bella. And who's the one
Bella.
lying down?
This is Flash, yeah. And that
And
was
the other one
Ruby.
that's
Aye.
oh.
Oh,
So
the terrorizers.
they're gorgeous.
They
So
terrorize a living daylights out of us.
they're all your dogs then?
Aye.
Oh, they're beautiful. Cookie. I say I'd love to have a dog, but Koshka adopted me. I didn't adopt Koshka, and one of these people, I think, if an animal comes into your life, which they always do to me, they're meant to be there. So, I thought, well, you're meant to
Aye.
be here anyway.
Aye, it's
Right.
true. True.
But you just have to, I say, I have to put my little Koshka first. Anyway, so how's it been going with you? Give us an update on your life as it is at the moment.
On my life.
Since you got out of because we haven't had a good talk about this. Since you came out of prison, how have you been getting on?
Yeah, it's been difficult. Gotta say, it's been difficult adjusting. Because, like, obviously, things have changed with probation and stuff and what have you. Because I mean, it's very, very difficult being on probation, on.
Yeah,
You
I can
know,
imagine.
it's like I can't go to my doctor in confidence and talk about whatever I need to talk about with my doctor, right? Without probation being able to know all about it.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
didn't go to
that's
the doctor. So
that.
I just didn't go. And it's little things like that that I used to trust them a lot more than I do now. Like I
Mm,
did. I thought they were like they do the right thing and stuff like that. But that it's not like that. It's very, very difficult.
yeah.
Aye.
See, if you go to see a counselor has to keep things private unless you say that you're going to commit a crime of some sort or do something
I,
illegal,
I
then they
could
have
probably
to.
do something. I could probably do something if I went private.
Yeah.
You
Well, you
know,
don't
but
have to go private.
if
You don't have to go.
NHS,
Hey, well, Cookie, listen to me. You don't have to go private. You go to see a counselor. A counselor cannot hand over information about you, even to the police, unless you're talking about confessing to a crime or something. Then
oh,
they can. But if you say you're feeling, you know, depressed or something, or you feel like you're going to commit another crime, depends what crime you're talking about. Depends on the severity of it, but they keep, and it's like they're like priests in a way.
Aye,
When you go to see a
it's like,
priest in confession.
but like I still get parole hearings, you see. So so see, I've got a parole hearing coming up, right?
Yeah,
Probation will send a request in to get me records, me medical records, and go through all my medical records and check out there if they want to as
yeah.
well. And they can
Mm,
and that's like, that does me head in because at one time I trusted that they would do that and look at it sensibly and stuff and what have you, if
yeah.
I opened up and stuff and that, but not now. Not now that it feels like it would get used against us and stuff like that in a negative way.
Yeah, I see what you mean. But
You know
anyway,
that over risk to manage and stuff like that.
yeah,
It's
it's
it
it's
all does me head in. It's been readjusting with the new dynamic that I've got going on with probation.
yeah.
Difficult.
I know it's not easy at all. Well, Deadly Kitten, you're right. Deadly Kitten is guess who's in my photo. That is G Marsh as Princess Mombi from the absolutely wonderful 1980s film Return to Oz. So another one of my favorite characters, Princess Mombi from Return to Oz. And I must say about this chat, I must say about the chat, you'll all have to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up, all of you! Get up! Get up! Wake up!
Well, that was a bit crap. Let's do that again. That I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but it's been really.
Wake up! Wake up, all of you! Get up! Get up! Wake up!
Yeah, that's for the chat because they're being very quiet at the moment. Here we go. I'll give you it again. Mombi's going to tell you to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up, all of you! Get up! Get up! Wake up!
There we are. That when Mombi speaks, obey her command. Are you Travis? Are you Deadly Kitten? But yet, it is very, very difficult to know what you're talking about because I used to work with probation with drug users on treatment and
Mhm,
testing orders, and I had to be, I say, well, I wasn't actually the one that used to counsel them or talk to them
mhm,
or whatever. I talked them intermittently. I used to have to
mhm,
get all their court papers together, go to court
mhm,
and all this business, which could be a pain in the backside. Do
mhm,
all that
mhm,
because you get them all ready, get to the court, then it would be, oh, adjourned, and it'd be like, oh
mhm, mhm,
God, not again, again and again and again.
mhm. Aye, aye, coming into contact with drug addicts on a daily basis. It's kinda hard work.
Yeah,
Tell you.
it's I've said before about I won't labour it when I used to work there. I
Mhm,
preferred it to working for the police,
mhm,
and it was amazing because I say, Cookie, I came from a really, I could call it a sheltered bubble life in certain ways. I mean,
mhm,
I
mhm,
used to say I never had the time to even try drugs or anything because I was
mhm,
always working and always train. If I wasn't working when I was younger, I was training, so I never had the chance for any of that. Because I was always in a position where I had to be doing something, so I
aye,
could never
aye.
drift off.
It wasn't like that for me when I was young, like, it was
Well,
because you were out my generation were, like, on the street. The
hey,
kids
you,
were
wait a
allowed
minute.
on.
Just wait. Well, wait a minute. Wait 1 minute. You've just said something there. Wait, well, let's see. I've got to have a response to this. I've got to have a response to this. Let's see. Um, here we go.
So,
Bit of hammer.
Are you dare saying that in your day? Are you suggesting that I'm older than you in your day? Didn't that lovely sound like you were saying he's of another?
No, well,
He's a younger generation than I am.
I think
Eh?
my generation was the last generation really to play out.
Well, I mean, I can remember during the summer playing out, but there was no. I can't remember. And back then it was sniff and glue. If any kids were going to do that, that's all it was. Sniff and glue.
There was sniffing. I remember the glue snippers, the skinheads with the Doc
Yeah,
Martens, snip and glue.
That's all it
You
was.
know,
So I never
I
had when I joined the probation cookie, I never had a clue about drug using or anything. It didn't really have an opinion. And it was through working there, I suddenly realized, wait a minute, because you see the full diverse and you think, wait, some were horrible, yet some were your classic horrible, nasty,
mhm,
just
mhm,
wanted to take it out on everyone that they came across and all this.
mhm.
But God, I met some amazing characters there, talented characters, and you always have this idea that drug users or people who don't come into contact with drug users that they're dirty and smelly and all this, and they don't keep clean, and the children
No,
are all unkept. Do you know what? I used to
no,
see people coming in there, right? Perfect. If you pass them in the street, you think it was some solicitor or something, dressed to the
mhm,
nines.
mhm,
And one woman, she used to, oh, she was horrible though. I must admit, she was a bit nasty. Yeah. She used to come in, but a couple of times she had to bring a child in because there's no one to look after it. And when she was with a child, it was amazing. It was a different character. We didn't get that nasty, horrible. Oh, she used to be horrible. She'd knock and all that and be really aggressive to the staff. But once a kid was in with her, and a kid was like Shirley Temple, perfect, perfectly presented. And she used to always say, "Oh yes, mummy's here to see the doctor. Mummy's just going to see just for a checkup, nothing
mhm,
wrong."
mhm,
And she never let the child
mhm.
know. So it smashed
Aye,
any stereotypes you had. But when it joined the police, I noticed a stark difference. They held the stereotype that all drug users were no good, the law breakers, the this, that, and the other. Where I had experience of actually talking to and meeting drug users and knew that drug users are just people. You get nice ones, bad ones, whatever ones. And
aye, you see.
so I used to treat them differently, completely.
Aye, well, you do because you get ones who can manage their life, can still manage their life while they're using, you see.
Yeah,
But soon as that if anything starts to go wrong with the financial situation, then they start kind of just like they're now the ones that look disgusting and act in a disgusting way and stuff and that. They're just
yeah,
gone like that, you know. That's the journey, you see. So
yeah,
if you're lucky enough to get off it before you get anywhere near that stage, you're quite lucky, you know.
yeah.
Mhm. And I
But
suppose it depends on what social background you're coming from as well, you know.
I don't know the cookie. I'm going to say this. I'll let you finish what
No,
you
well,
said,
I
but
think I think a lot more
just
functioning addicts who can like still function as a productive part of society, shall we say, uh, come from a social background where they've been able to being given the skills by their parents and the grown-ups around them to get on in life better than someone who's brought up on a council estate, brought up on on money, on dual money and stuff like that, you know?
I, I
That's
know
all
what
I'm
you're
saying.
saying, but I'll hey,
They're
well,
the ones who junkies at that from them estates gone downhill quite quick, you know?
but what I'm going to say about this social thing, I'll tell you something amazing now, right? One of the greatest uh, ballerinas of the 70s, 80s, Kelsey Kirkland, amazing ballerina from the um, American Ballet Theatre, was renowned worldwide.
Mhm,
It came out, she released a book and it caused absolutely shockwaves right through the ballet world. Absolutely horrifying shockwaves. And she admitted, she said, I was dancing at my height on cocaine. She called the book Dancing on My Grave. She nearly died from it. She had 7
mhm.
brain seizures. But there was a woman. Back then, ballet was still considered an extremely elitist
That's right.
thing.
Mhm.
Only the posh went to
Still
see
is
it. That's all
really.
changed now. Not now, it's not, Cookie. It's
No.
not now. It's not elitist anymore. So anyway, she was right at the top of the tree, and there was someone. And you can actually see a documentary if you put a
Mhm,
name in Kelsey Kirkland dancing
mhm.
on my grave. They actually she got interviewed by what's that Australian show? 42 hours or something like that.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. 60
48
minutes.
hours or something like that. And she did an interview with them just as she wrote the book, and she was high as a kite when
Mhm.
she was dancing, and no one could believe it because there was, wait a minute, how can she perform on it? But she said, "No," she
Yeah.
said, "You can't
Mhm.
perform on it." And she said that's
Yeah,
what
you
got her
can,
through it 'cause it was so
you
hard.
can. It
Yeah.
can it brings out some it they can all different drugs can bring out the different kinds of creativity within that sort of them different sorts of industries and stuff and that with artists and stuff like that, you know. But I would say cocaine, that's a drug that like penetrates all levels of social all the social structures, you know what I
Mm,
mean? It doesn't
yeah,
matter what social structure you're in, you're gonna come across that stuff, especially these days. But seeing years and years ago, it was really hard to get when I was a
yeah.
Ben in the early 90s in 94, 95 in Newcastle. It was hard to get. You
Mm.
could only get weed and a bit of acid, bit of E, and that's about it. Bit of aye.
Anyway, Castro the rapper said, "Hello, Anne. Cookie struck my channel. Did you strike Castro's channel?
No,
Cookie struck my
I
channel,
I
unless I'm reading it wrong. I'm
I
understanding
never
it wrong, I should say.
no, I don't why would I
I know
strike
I get.
anybody's
You know what?
channel?
I get. This is what shocks me. I get
If
accused of striking
anybody's
people's
if I come
channels. I
across
don't.
a channel that
No.
no, I've never strike anybody's channel, so
Me
if you
neither.
want to
I get
strike
accused. Do you know what? I
aye,
get accused all the time of striking this character. I won't mention its name. Eek Eek Eek's channel, and he keeps on putting
mhm,
up false paperwork. Me, I wouldn't strike anyone's channel. I don't. I believe in freedom of speech. Total 100% freedom of speech. That's my way of thinking. That's the way I think of it. And worry, you've got as much chance as that happening as me sticking a banana up me woohoo, walking down Dublin town centre and singing Rule Britannia as me unblocking that
mhm.
person. It's not going to happen. So, yes, Cookie, now that we've got that out there. Oh, do you know what? I nearly forgot. I nearly forgot my beautiful. Actually, you do know my beautiful moderator, don't you, Kelsey? Oh, don't sound excited now. Can't you clap hands?
Yes, I do. I
Can't
know
you
I've
clap your hands
seen her
together and go,
name
"Oh wow"?
for years in the chat. She's been there for a couple of years. I've seen her in the
Yeah,
chat now.
there we go. Well, this is for my
Mhm.
beautiful Kelsey.
Dum 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 darling, I love you. Dum dum darling, I love you.
There we are. My beautiful Kelsey has always got to have that played to her. She's so good, even though she can be naughty behind the scenes. Oh, she can be very naughty behind the scenes. Most have to keep her in check. Oh, I think Seth Noah could be doing other things instead of having to watch her and make sure that she's not getting into some kind of bother or mischief or getting herself a reputation somewhere. But, I feels my duty, because she's my mod, it feels my duty to keep an eye out for her. Definitely do keep an eye out for her. Anyway, I was looking at changing the subject a bit drastically. I thought,
Mhm.
I'd like to go to see a film. I just feel like going to see a film. Me and my neighbour, let's go and see a film. There's nothing on, is there, but rubbish? What's happened in the cinemas? There's nothing but absolutely tat on in the cinemas.
I gotta say, like it doesn't. It none of them, none of the
Huh?
dramas are out that these days and stuff, and that can hold me concentration for very long. I
Mm,
just cannot seem to get into any of them, and it's been like that for a few years. I think it might be because we're more used to watching YouTube.
yeah. I mean, I went to see the last one. I went to see the re-release of the original Coraline in 3D, which was fantastic.
Mhm,
That was just a treat to see that on the cinema in 3D. And then I went to see Alien Romulus, which was really good.
mhm,
Except the ending was stupid. The ending spoiled the
mhm.
film in a way, but the film itself was really
Yes.
good. But
Mhm.
the only one I can see that's coming up, the two that I want to go and see is Wicked and Nosferatu. They're the only two I fancy going to see.
Aye, 'cause they've got a new Alien movie coming out, haven't they? A new
No, the
Pred
Alien.
new Predator movie's coming
Oh,
out, I think. Is
yeah, a
Ridley
Predator
Scott
one.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's Ridley Scott who does them, isn't it? The Alien, the Romulus and all. We didn't do did he
It's
do Romulus?
Romulus, but thank Christ, because he is just absolutely well, my personal view is those, Prometheus and all that Covenant were
Mm,
absolutely terrible. They were just so far up themselves and trying to be something. I mean, for God's sake, it's a horror movie. Why try to make it some kind of psychological? I think what he was doing, he's trying to do a Star Wars, know the
mhm,
Force and make it into that sort of like
mhm,
pseudo religious kind of
mhm,
thing, and it's just not working with Alien. It doesn't make sense. It just you come out
mhm,
more confused than when you went in. So, Alien Romulus, the good thing about that was it went right back to the first and second one. It didn't try, and it doesn't pretend to be anything it isn't, other than a horror
mhm,
movie, a gory movie
mhm,
with action. And God, has it got a lot of action? The action starts at practically right at the beginning and doesn't stop until the end. It's full on, but
mhm,
it doesn't pretend to be what isn't. That was refreshing, and it went back to the original feel of the
mhm,
Alien
mhm,
in Alien. In other words, it's just a and they, wouldn't use CGI either. They used, like in the original films, the
mhm.
puppets, which was I
Aye.
thought I liked it. I did like it. I thought it was good. The Substance,
Aye.
Deadly Kitten. I look into that, Deadly Kitten, because I really wanna go and see a film. Went to see Giselle
Aye.
the other day, which was absolutely, predictably wonderful by the English National Ballet. So, that was stunning.
What was that
She
that Jonathan Ross used to do on the telly where they would review the films?
it used to be called Film 80, Film 90, Film whatever, wasn't it? It was every whatever
Ah,
year it was.
aye.
Yeah.
I like the fella who done it before him.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Oh god, I know. He was the one that did it for years, wasn't
He
he?
was, aye.
I remember, yeah. I remember you mean. He was good.
Aye,
The
he
worst
was.
one was when Russell Harty did a couple of them, right? Russell Hart did a couple, and he ruined one by giving the end.
Mhm,
He ruined two by giving the end away. He told the
mhm.
end of Blue Velvet, ruined it, then did it with another film. So he didn't last long on there. Barry Norman, there we
Mm.
go. Barry
Barry
Norman.
Norman, that's right, that's his name, aye.
He was good. He used to give good
Aye.
reviews, didn't he? He was
Mhm.
really good at it.
Aye, aye. That's right. He used to do
I
the outtakes, the outtake TV as well, didn't he?
not Barry Norman.
No, who was that? Who used to do that?
That was that
The
old
old
fella,
fella with the
wasn't it?
glasses?
Yeah, the comedian.
Aye.
Begins with an N. I'm terrible. My brain's going. Here we are. Deadly Kitten will know. Who used to do It Will Be Alright on the Night?
That's right,
Yeah,
that's right, that's the name of it.
yeah.
Mhm.
Remember that? Yeah, that used to be good. All the outtakes from that.
That's right. Aye, nostalgic that for me. Definitely
Oh,
takes us right back. 'Cause movies were movies back then. We'd all be excited to see the
yeah,
next Jaws movie, and when
yeah.
Terminator first come out and stuff like that, there was loads of good movies, wasn't it?
But do you remember, Cookie, back in I'm talking about the 70s now, when they used to do that, you'd get something like Jaws, which was people can't
Mhm.
understand now, unless you're around that time, people can't understand what the how going to the
How
cinema was a big event then.
Mhm,
It wasn't
mhm,
like now you
mhm,
just go in and book your tickets. You had to queue up, and there were blockbusters then,
mhm,
and I'm talking about
mhm.
huge blockbusters where
There were. Mhm,
it would be right round. I mean, Star Wars had to be the most famous blockbuster because people were round it was right round the corner of these
mhm,
cinemas, and you wouldn't
mhm,
get in. You'd have to try about 3 4 times
mhm,
before you'd get in to see the film. Keep on
mhm,
coming back and queuing up. But they used to do sequels. Now, do you remember The Exorcist? That was the first. I've always said, people
mhm,
say Jaws was the first blockbuster of the 70s. It wasn't. It was The
mhm,
Exorcist. The Exorcist was the first big blockbuster.
mhm,
Now that came out. Then they did The Heretic a few years later, which has to be one of the worst sequels ever to any
mhm,
film. It's
mhm.
horrendous. Jaws came out, and that was massive, absolutely massive.
Was.
And
And it
then,
was scary as well. It did give you a fright when that shark was coming out the water.
well, no one had ever seen anything like that before, so it
That's
was
right,
absolutely amazing. But
yes, it
then
was.
they released Jaws 2, which was a load of rubbish. Then you
Mhm,
got Star Wars, and that was the biggest one of all. I mean, that was just absolutely
mhm,
phenomenally huge. That it made the other blockbusters look tame in
mhm,
respect when Star Wars came out. That was the only one where the sequels were any good. All the
Mhm.
others, they were rubbish, they were. And that's why in 1980, when E.T. came out, Steven Spielberg said he'd never make a follow-up to E.T., and thankfully he didn't. And the
Aye,
But
aye, 'cause
apparently the studios were pressurizing him to make a follow-up. So what he did to make
mhm,
sure there wouldn't be a follow-up, he wrote, which you can get online, an absolutely horrendous sequel to E.T.,
mhm,
and it's horrendous. And he said,
mhm,
no, he said E.T. will not have a follow-up. So he
mhm.
put in a really
Aye,
bad script.
mhm. 'Cause there's a lot of them that haven't that if the sequel's not doing very good, like, you know,
Yeah.
but there is some that have done really
Oh
well.
yeah.
I think the Rockies were really good.
Well, I never watched them, and I was never into things like that.
Aye, but I think the Rocky 1 and 2 were the best. Them were really good, and I think they're all good really apart from Rocky 4. Rocky 4's terrible.
Yeah. See,
Aye.
sometimes I think now when they make a follow-up, it's usually better than what they used to be. In the 70s, it used to be terrible when they do a follow-up. But like you
Mm,
just know this is going to be rubbish, and it would inevitably be rubbish a follow-up.
mhm. Well, I
And
like
some
Predator.
film, go on.
Predator was good, and Predator 2, that was good with Danny Glover.
Some of the Predator ones, it's like you think they'd be rubbish, but you know things like Predator versus Alien, you think, oh, this is going to be rubbish. But
Mhm,
again, they're not pretending to be it, and they aren't, so they actually end up
mhm,
being good. If you go in there and you think, I just want to see an action film with a bit of
mhm.
gore in it, that's what they're giving you.
That's
That
what it is, that's what that is,
yeah.
aye. What it
So
is.
you can't.
But Predator 1 and 2, you actually care about the characters and stuff and what have you and that, you know? So
Yeah,
I like that bit of character building, nice bit of character building within the movie. Not too much of it and not too slow, you know?
yeah,
And, yeah, it can keep
yeah.
me
That's it.
pay attention. Mhm,
That's it. It's but yeah, I'll look at that one. That is, I actually think I was looking at that, the substance, but I didn't actually look. It's the one. That's the one with the woman, isn't it? Oh, I don't know. No, I'm thinking of another one where the woman's in the house or something. But yeah, and they're releasing the old ones, aren't they? They re-released Carrie. No, the
uh-huh,
1977 one, but
yeah,
oh god, I've
yeah,
seen that enough times. I mean, it's a brilliant film, the original Carrie, but I've seen it
mhm,
enough times. Don't want to go and see it on the cinema. It would have
mhm.
to be something special to go and see it on the cinema. So, do you go
Um
yourself at all, Cookie, to see the cinema?
I've not been for a few years, no, like, but
Yeah.
I have thought about going in when the movies come out this year, like with Predator and stuff like that, the new Predators. I think there's another new Terminator coming out as well.
Mm,
So I can see that, might can see them too, see what else is happening.
yeah.
Aye.
So I'll look out. I'll look to see what that substance is about. But I'm definitely going
Mm.
to see Nosferatu when it comes out, and I'll go and see Wicked. I thought Wicked was in three IMAX 3D. It's not.
I've never heard of Wicked.
Wicked, it's based on the stage play, isn't it? You know,
Is it
it's
about
the way
witches?
it's the Wizard of Oz.
Basically,
Basically,
yes, that's right, yes, that's
it's
right.
how the Wicked Witch of the West becomes the Wicked Witch of the West.
Aye, but
That's
The
what it's
Wizard of
all
Oz
about.
was based on, wasn't it? That's right, I
Yeah,
forget.
so that's
You've
it.
all
And of
told it.
course, this lady here, she is also from the Oz Witch. The head change and Mombi. Did you ever see that Return to Oz, Cookie?
I've not seen Return to Oz. I have seen Wizard of Oz. I used to sit and watch it with me nana. Aye, me nana loved it,
Yeah.
so I'd sit and watch it with me nana. And what other? I used to sit and watch. Oh, bloody Annie with me auntie Alice. Bloody hell, man! Tell you, sick of watch. Is that
Oh,
that?
Annie. Oh, I know.
Aye.
That's too.
Oh, sick of watching that.
Yeah.
And
It's
the
just too.
Santa Claus. Do you
Yeah.
remember the Santa Claus with Dudley Moore?
Yeah.
Aye,
Yeah.
aye.
Oh, I
That
know
was
some
that.
of them. And do you remember years ago as well when we relied on the television? You
Mhm.
had um, people as well. that were they put films on. So I don't know what I'm saying. People they put films on, and they were absolutely rubbish. They put the same ones on all the time. You get sick to death of them. I mean, I love The Sound of Music. I adore it. I think it's one of the
Mhm,
best ones you can get for
mhm,
musicals you can have. But didn't they have it on every single year? Every single year.
mhm, mhm. And The Great Escape as well. That
Yeah,
that become as like a Christmas thing. The Great Escape. Now it's I think Die Hard's took over that spot now. That they always play Die Hard at Christmas
yeah.
time on mainstream media now.
You
Aye.
got Kelsey, Seven Brides, Seven Brothers. Not one of my favorites. That. Oh, Nightmare Before Christmas. That is good. Have you seen that, Cookie, by Tim
I don't
Burton?
know.
Oh, that's good. You have to watch Nightmare Before Christmas. It's animated. Well, it's stop motion. It's absolutely brilliant by Tim Burton. It's Tim Burton at his no best when he's being really freaky and otherworldly.
Mhm, mhm,
It's so yeah, that is you'll have to watch that if you ever get the chance.
mhm.
Uh
Now 'cause I do like the old movies, you know.
yeah,
I used to watch Bob Hope all the time, you know.
yeah.
I don't know why I liked Bob Hope when I was a bairn. For some
Well,
reason,
it's
I
funny.
watch him
He was
all the time.
extremely he was a funny man. I mean, for the times he was well, still today he's funny. Oh, somebody opens. I was watching one before, Behind the Door. It was actually good.
Mhm,
I'd never
mhm,
heard of it before. An old,
mhm,
it must have been 1930s.
mhm,
And I thought, I'll watch it. And for the
mhm,
1930s, it was actually very good. It was a good film.
mhm.
So I thought that
And
was,
I liked, what's his name? Norman Wisdom. I loved
oh God, no,
Norman
I couldn't
Wisdom.
stand him. God, I
Mm.
couldn't stand that man.
Oh, I loved him. And you had what was his name? Jerry Jerry Lee Lewis or something he was called. I mean, him and James Dean.
Yeah, Jerry
The
Lewis.
movie.
He was another madcap one. He could be stupid. When they were being daft, I couldn't stand it. They go
Oh,
overboard.
I loved it. I
Let's put
loved all that when I was a kid.
watch his Nutty Professor. Then go and watch,
Aye, I
what's his
have.
name's well, watch the what was his name, the fella who did it, the comedian?
Eh, bloody hell, man. Beverly
I
Hills
know,
Cop.
my brain's
Axel
going
Foley.
dead.
Axel Foley done it.
No, he didn't.
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie
Did he not
Murphy.
do
Yeah,
Eddie
Eddie
Murphy?
Murphy. Now you watch Eddie Murphy's and compare it. Eddie Murphy's is much, much better. That was funny, but
Mhm,
oh no,
mhm,
Eddie Murphy was brilliant in it, but oh God, no. Whoa, I couldn't stand the original one.
mhm.
I can't stand that being really stupid. You know, when they go daft, it's like that's not funny. That it's just but
Aye.
Eddie Murphy was absolutely fantastic. And the sequel, if you want to talk about sequels, God, the sequels to that were absolutely fantastic with the grandmother. Oh God, absolutely brilliant. Those Eddie Murphy.
Mhm.
Eddie Murphy, I'd say he's one of my favorites.
Yes, he is. Aye, he is all right. I liked Eddie Murphy. I loved Beverly Hills Cop. And what was it? Trading Places. Trading Places was
Yeah,
a brilliant movie. It's a brilliant movie, that.
yeah,
Trading Places.
absolutely. The were absolute brilliant ones. So, what's your favorite film then? Or if you can say a favorite film, or one you'd say was at the top. I know you said the Rocky films.
I do like the Rocky movies and the Godfathers and stuff like that, you
Oh, The
know.
Godfather was good.
But I like I'm not sure what I would say was I like Quentin Tarantino. I like his kind of movies. I think especially with the Reservoir Dogs and stuff and that
Yeah,
because you know I think that's a good movie and it gives some note you get some naughty feelings off watching that movie. Uh, but me I think I would say right if I could like delete some movies from my head right and watch them for the first time. I would like to watch the Clint Eastwood spaghetti westerns.
I didn't like the spaghetti westerns, but I loved them as Dirty Harry. I
Mhm,
thought they were brilliant, especially the first one. You can't ever remake that first Dirty Harry
mhm,
film. It wouldn't work. It's too
mhm.
perfect. The acting
Oh,
in it
I
is
like
brilliant.
I like the westerns, the Mexican standoffs, and the music, and how atmospheric. Watching them for the first time, the tension, it was just absolutely brilliant. I love their movies. Uh, but I like Hammer Horror. I like Christopher Lee. I like Peter Cushing.
Some of them
Uh,
are all right. Some of them are
oh well,
classics.
I like the vampire ones. I like the Dracula ones. But I
I
turned the
wasn't.
colour down on them. I didn't like them in colour. I like them in black and white. You see, that's
I
what I like watching them in.
I wasn't into the Dracula ones, but there were some classics that said classics like Countess Dracula. That will
Mhm,
always be top of the list of Hammer House of Horrors, won't it?
mhm,
And the Creeping Flesh. That's another
mhm,
one that will always be there. Some
mhm.
of them were really,
Scared the living
really good.
daylights out of me when I was a bairn.
Oh God, yeah, that's it. Remember, we used to stay up to watch them if we were allowed to, and it'd be like,
Mhm.
oh,
Aye.
this. Do you remember the Ghost Story at Christmas was always on BBC Two, and it was I remember the Ash Tree by
Yes.
Emma James, and that was absolutely horrific. That gave me nightmares as a kid. The Ash Tree, it was horrible, absolutely horrible.
Yes. Yes.
With
Yes.
the things for people who don't know, read up M.R. James, The Ash Tree. It's absolutely horrible, and they did like it's one hell of a creepy story, one hell of a creepy story. But
Tale from the unexpected. And
yeah,
what was that? There was an American one.
the
uh,
Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone. That's it.
It wa-
Aye.
oh yeah, you were asked. I better ask you this: which is better, Godfather Part One or Part Two? That's a hard decision now. I think the two of them had, in my mind anyway, the two of them
Two of
had
them were
things
brilliant.
about them that
Aye.
were brilliant. Yeah. I couldn't pick between the first one and the second one. I think that's rare that a film where I could definitely say that the bleeding third one was nowhere near as good as the other two.
Oh, I like the third one the best.
Oh no, I didn't. I thought the first two were fantastic.
They're all fantastic, but I do like the third one the best. I just the story, because I mean them kinds of people. I mean, what kind of regrets do they have later on in old age in life?
Yeah.
Do they do
Oh
they
no,
think
that
back what happens to them and stuff, and how do trying to get so successful at it, getting out of it and stuff. I,
I
I
don't know. To me, it just didn't work with the first one. One was brilliant, but here's one, The Exorcist. I mean, that was you'll never be able to remake The Exorcist and have a success as
mm,
big as the
mm,
first one because I mean, the shock value of it at the time was just too great. You couldn't do that now. Second one was rubbish, which it was the heretic, the worst one. Third one, which was Legion, wasn't it? The third one, that was the one that William Blatty, who wrote The
mhm,
Exorcist, he made the third one, and he made the
mhm,
third one out of disgust of the second one. He won't own the second one. He said, "Really?" He said, "That's the
mhm,
follow up to The Exorcist, the third one." Now, I'd
mhm,
say it is. It's good. It is good, but
mhm.
um, do you know? You'll know what I'm talking about. The crucifix scene and that, where its eyes open and all that. I thought that was going too far, and it got too silly at the end. But
Mm.
it's got the best jump scene, scare scene in any film. That nurse scene, that is. They use that as an example of the most perfect scare scene in a film. I remember when I went to see it, people nearly went through the friggin' roof because it really led you down one alley and you think, oh, there's this. Well, then it comes that you won't spoil it for people. Then it happens, and people just absolutely went through the roof with the
That's
fright.
the kind of films that I like. That you cannot really guess what's gonna happen, because
Yeah,
they do regurgitate the same film over and over again, just in a different format sort of way. It's still the same story, but just looks a little bit different. You
yeah,
know, uh, but ones that you kind of movies that you can't guess the end of are just brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. I'll tell you one that I didn't guess the end on till I watched it the second time. and that was that Denzel Washington movie. Now, where he's blind.
Oh no, I haven't seen that. What one was that?
Aye. I'm forgetting the name of it now, man. The Book of Eli. The Book of Eli. That's a really, really good movie. And I've spoiled it for you now. Yeah, I'm really sorry.
No,
Because you probably wouldn't have guessed he was blind until maybe you get to the end. But
oh,
even I was
oh, what?
sick,
Isn't
I
that
couldn't
nice?
say it.
Fancy spoiling it for me. Fancy spoiling. Do you know what? I tell you what, people. Hey, well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I've got to give you this. How dare you do that? I have got to give you this.
That's a
There, that's
disgusting
Spike
fucking
telling you
picture,
off.
that.
Spike is telling you off for ruining it for
But
me.
I tell you what movie I've got to give a mention to. Get Carter. I
No, wait
love
a minute.
that movie with
Does it stand next to it?
Michael Caine in it.
Michael Caine. Get
Yeah,
Carter. Yeah, yeah,
brilliant, brilliant movie. That's all done in my area. That's all done in Scotswood and the West End of Newcastle and
yeah.
most of that. Aye, yes. Aye, you can see.
Because they,
I went to Dunstan where Steve Rafe's from.
I
With
know. Well, Movie Labs come up with another one, which actually I agree with the others. Have you seen that with Nicole Kidman?
the other, I have, yes.
The
I
others. Now
have.
that I didn't know the ending was coming. That, and when you think of it, it's obvious. I won't say the ending, but it's obvious what happened, what the ending's about. But when I was actually watching in the cinema, I didn't
Mhm,
have a clue, and that shocked me. I remember just
mhm,
sat up. Oh God! When I suddenly realised what was going on,
mhm.
but that was very good. I liked that. I did like it.
I'll tell you what won't give us a fright, and it's been the only one for years, and there's no since give us a fright like that, is Saw, the
Mm.
first Saw. When he gets up off the floor at the
Yeah.
end and all that.
You're ruining
Oh,
this for everyone. Stop it, Cookie. You can't keep on putting spoilers in like that in case anyone hasn't seen it. So stop it. You just say, "Oh, that was shocking." That, but yet the
uh-huh,
first one was good. I tried to watch the second one and couldn't be bothered
mhm,
because it just turned into gore, didn't it? And I thought, no,
aye,
not interested. As you get older, you can't be bothered with anything like that.
mhm, mhm.
That's it.
Ah,
But
and there's another one. Is it the Quiet, where they didn't talk at all, and there's like they've got a baby, and was it called the Quiet Place or something?
no, never heard of that one.
Oh, it's good on because they didn't talk in it at all, so you like everything's in silence, and it's a good movie. I forget the name of it. You'll have seen it, man. You must have seen it. Aye,
Not somewhere where they're not talking. I haven't seen it.
aye, because they've got to be quiet because these creatures or whatever would say there's been an apocalyptic event. And as soon as there's any noise, they come for you and get you. So you've got to be quiet and not allowed to talk. It's really good.
Oh
Good
no,
movie.
I definitely haven't seen that. I'm gonna show
It
you. I haven't
builds the
seen it.
suspense up and everything. It's good. Gives you a fright.
I'll look out. I'll look for it. See what it's like. That Princess
What
Mombi looks like Mr. Glitter. Princess Mombi. But yet,
Princess Mombi is that the Indian princess?
no, it's from the Return to Oz. She's from the Oz books. It's actually an amalgamation in the film. Um, she's a mixture of two characters from the Oz books, but she changes her head. That's the fame. If she chops off the heads of pretty ladies and keeps them in a cupboard. This is you see the ladies' heads here a
Oh,
bit, and she when she feels like it, she just changes her head for theirs. Here we are. I'll show this bit. This is the way you see the heads. I only put a bit on.
Dorothy girl.
So that's where Dorothy's trying to get the powder of life. And that's the room where all the heads are. She keeps
mhm.
all the heads in cabinets. What if she feels like she wears a new head? Oh, it was very controversial when that was first released. Very controversial. Return to Oz was the 80s. And people were all hyped
Yeah,
up.
the
Oh,
kids that were terrified, the kids that.
they did. What happened was it was all excited, and then news started getting out. Don't expect because it was the first time they'd ever made a follow up to the Wizard of Oz, and
Mm,
they said, "Don't expect the Wizard of Oz. It's not a musical, and the characters are different." And then it came out that the lion was
mhm,
hardly in it. The Tin
mhm,
Woodsman was hardly
mhm,
in it, and people think,
mhm,
"What's going on here?" And then what was I loved it. I look when I went to see it, I absolutely loved it. But people were saying they was I think it was classified 15, I think. But people were complaining. They said there's no way you could take children to see that or it would give them terrible
mhm,
nightmares
mhm,
because the
mhm,
characters were creepy. Jack Pumpkinhead,
mhm,
that was one of the main characters in it. And Jack Pumpkinhead really was creepy. Even when I was watching, I thought, "Oh, you couldn't show a kid that." The way it moved was creepy as
mhm,
well.
mhm,
And so,
mhm.
but it was a fantastic film.
That would
Mm.
terrified the kids that. It wasn't
Yeah,
meant
as Barnabas says here, it tried to keep to the books. In other words, the original with this, I don't know. There's about 15. I can't, don't quote me. Oz books were written,
is there?
but the first one with Judy Garland, that was nothing like the book. Believe me, it was
Ah,
nothing. Even they changed in the book. It's silver slippers. It's not ruby slippers, but they changed it for the Technicolor. But actually,
mhm,
they kept the ruby slippers in Return to Us because they said it was too iconic. They couldn't put it in
mhm,
silver slippers. But if you ever get to see it, it's an interesting film, but you wouldn't show it to a kid. It would be too scary
mhm,
for them.
mhm,
But yeah, it was good. And Mombi, she was
mhm,
quite vicious in it. And
mhm.
the stone no. So yeah, it was actually good. I think it was anyway. Avatar on screen pick. Oh
I
yeah,
have a thought that it gets a bit boring though for me. I think it just gets boring. Avatar.
Avatar. The first one, I liked the first one. I went to see in IMAX 3D.
Mm,
That was all right. The second one, I really want to go see, but when I seen how long it was, I thought I'm not sitting
for
in a
2 hours.
theater for that long watching that. I thought it's
Mhm,
way too long. And
mhm,
also the fact that it's in 3D after a while, and I've always said this about 3D films, you forget they're in 3D because your eyes
mhm,
adapt to it.
mhm,
And you sort of think, you're not even remembering that it's in 3D.
mhm,
So that's why I didn't go to see it, which I actually would have liked to seen it if it was a shorter film, but I think he went way, way too far with it.
mhm.
But
Uh, I think the best movie I've seen with a robbery scene in it is Heat with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro.
yeah,
It's, I think I like that movie. I think the scene in it where they come out the bank and it comes on top in the big gunfight they have to get away and stuff. I think that's based on a true story. That
yeah.
scene. I like that movie, but I tell you what though, Anne, bloody Robert De Niro's making a right fool of himself, I think. Coming out
Why
with
was it?
all his politics and that, not making any sense and stuff and all that. He's like he's a brainless liberal.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't got a clue. Don't listen to them. Well, as I say, if you're
It's really
entertaining, you're an
spoiled the
entertainer. You know.
movies now because I used to I really liked them, but because I know about his politics, it's sort of like soured his movies a little bit for me with Robert
Yeah.
De Niro. But Al Pacino's still doing alright, and Clint Eastwood's politics are canny good. So and Denzel Washington, so there's still canny few still out there who've not went weird, who
Well,
try and tell
this
you
is
what to
it. The
do.
thing is, you're either an entertainer or you're a politician. I think
Yeah.
it's being both is stupid. Because it just you just don't because you're going to upset someone. You're going to upset someone at the end of the day if you start going into politics when you're an entertainer. But they do like doing that in America.
The day Reagan was one of the he was the first, wasn't he? Reagan was he the first one?
Well, well, he went into politics. He wasn't an actor that was going on about politics. Gave up acting and became a
Did
politician.
I? Yeah,
Whereas the
'cause the stand up in the Oscars and give what our election and all that, and the global is it
yeah, it's
that's
like
what
no,
they're
you
doing,
stick to your entertaining if you
and
want to go
Ricky
into
Gervais.
politics.
What do you think of Ricky? Is it Ricky Gervais
Yeah.
who roasted them all at the Golden Globes?
Oh yeah, he's great. He says it as it is. That's it. He says it as it is. He doesn't mind, does he? And that's what
Aye.
they need. They need someone to do something like that to show them all up for what they are. That's what they need.
And
Eva,
get
has
back to
anyone
making good movies.
Eva, has anyone seen that? Yeah, I've seen it a few times, said the kitten. That's why I'm going to see the new one that's come out. Has anyone seen the 1922 version of Nosferatu, Count Orlok? You've seen that, haven't you, Cookie?
I think I have, you know, the 1922 version.
It's a silent one where the famous scene
Yes,
is he
it looks
comes out of the
really, really
coffin.
creepy, and he's got baldy head and all that.
Yeah, big ears
Aye,
and
yeah,
well,
big
they've
ears and
remade
all
it.
that.
It's coming out Christmas Day of all times. And the remake looks really good. It's got what's his name in it? Wow, why can't I remember anyone's name? Oh,
Oh my God.
Will. Oh, yeah, yeah, I'll think of it in a minute. But that was absolutely. Oh yeah, Freaks was a very good film. That was so unusual. I've just seen that. Tim, that was what's his name? Tim. Seen that not sound the 1930s film Freaks.
I think I've seen that, you know.
That was absolutely fantastic, especially for the time. But what it was, it's you can tell it's actually standing up. Where it was seen for the time, it was just seen. It was banned for 50 years. They banned it from cinemas for 50 years. That's how bad it was considered. But actually, it's not mocking. It's standing up for the what you call the freaks in the film. It's actually
Mhm,
on their side. But it's got a
mhm,
horrible ending, an absolutely nasty, vicious ending to it. And for the
mhm.
1930s, they couldn't handle that. Schlitzie, yeah.
Oh,
That's the one with Schlitzie, the famous one. No, if you see me, they used to call them pinheads. It's microcephaly they had, really. And he had a little, he had, say, stuck up at the top like a little tuft. And, well, tried to get a quick clip of it. Just give me a second and I'll get a Schlitzie. Here we are. Just let me just find it. Here we go now. Let's see. Just let's get this right. And this is Schlitzie when I get it on. You'll know when you see him. You'll know. He always was presented as a girl in the films for some reason. Oh wait a minute. Let's get this right. So it always looks rubbish when they do it on a small screen. Sorry about this, people. Let's see. So that was Schlitzie. And so, yeah, most people when they see Schlitzie, they remember seeing because they did an updated version in American Horror Story, didn't they, or whatever it was called? William Defoe, yeah, William Defoe's in
mhm,
uh,
mhm,
the new Nosferatu film. So
mhm.
yeah, one absolutely brilliant film, but that was actually a man. It wasn't a. But they used to put him in a
Aye,
dress for some reason and present him as a woman when he wasn't. He was a man. Lived a very long age. He was old before I'm sure he
was he?
was. Yeah, it was microcephaly. He lived for a very, very long time. But he's become a cult figure now. That's
He has, hasn't he?
but that is definitely one film to watch if you
Mhm,
because it's
mhm.
absolutely brilliant. And when you think of when it was made, it's amazing. But 50 years it was banned for. Absolutely, they couldn't
Uh,
handle it. Just couldn't handle it back then. Just reading some of the comments and just
more innocent times, Anne.
well, yeah, they were. Well, this
Mm,
it the one that always points out is that I always used to show how innocent it was back then, or how they wouldn't see the reality of things. The Bride of Frankenstein. Now, The Bride of Frankenstein was always put across as a great horror. It isn't, and the director
mm,
never wanted it to be a horror. It's the first camp black comedy ever.
mhm, mhm,
It was
mhm,
designed, and if you see it, watch the Bride of Frankenstein
mhm,
and see if you don't see that that is a camp film made by a gay man to be funny. It's
mhm,
a black comedy. It's not supposed to be
mhm.
a horror, but yet people back then thought it was a horror. So there's a bit of education for you. It was
Mm.
actually a horror movie. It was a black comedy,
First
not a horror.
first black
But
comedy.
people thought it was
Yeah.
a horror.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was brilliant. But anyway, Cookie, been on for nearly an hour now, and you're looking tired. Are you tired?
No, no, I just need a toilet.
Oh God, well I'll wind up
Drink.
now. But it's lovely speaking to you. You'll have to come on again. I say you're
I
always a
will do.
welcome guest on here.
Aye. It's no,
And
I enjoyed myself. Had a good chat.
and we'll have another chat. Now I'll bring a couple of other guests on as well, so we can talk about
Aye.
things. Because I don't, as you know, Cookie, I hate drama. I hate drama. I keep away from it. And all these people force this drama onto my channel and all this. It's
Aye.
like I'm not gonna have any more drama. I say, go away with your drama. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. But they drag me into it. They really, really do. But to everyone in the chat, thank you for tuning in. And thank you again, Cookie, because that was absolutely
Oh,
it's
you're
brilliant
welcome.
talking to
I've enjoyed
you
it.
anytime. And what I'm going to do, I'll leave you all with me running away. Here we go. Here's me running away.
Washer!